Welcome to the Real Authority, everybody. I'm not going to do a mic today because, quite frankly, I'm tired and I got a busy weekend ahead of me. So I'm going to review The Running Man, not in one take like last time. I'm going to edit it, but yeah, I'm feeling a bit tired, but I thought I might as well talk about it. Ben Richards plays a father who is desperate to find a cure for his daughter's sickness, and he finds the only way to do so is to participate in the Running Man, a contest where he has to survive 30 days without being killed in order to earn the money. And yeah, I've been excited. Edgar Wright is, by all accounts, a talented director. I haven't delved deep into his filmography, but the films that I've seen directed by him, say Shaun of the Dead and Baby Driver, they're great. So of course expectations were pretty high, plus Glenn Powell has been a star on the rise, even though he's been in the industry for a while, but he's definitely a charismatic actor, and I definitely wanted to see him go the distance, and this was his first real effort to be established as a leading man. Like, I know Twisters came out, but that was kind of a co-lead with Daisy Edgar Jones. But I mean, yeah, I was pretty excited, and after seeing it, I am unfortunately here to tell you I was a bit disappointed, but The Running Man is still good. Might as well get into the positives. Of course, Glenn Powell did a great job. I do feel with him, he is just so able to make the most out of the movie, his character and screenplay, that he's ultimately the reason why you should watch it. It definitely shows a lot of his comedic ability, but also dramatic potential. Like, there are moments in here where he's acting his butt off, and it's great. The rest of the actors do great too, although Glenn Powell is kind of the one that's really steering the boat. But you got Coleman Domingo, Josh Brolin, Amelia Jones, Katie M. O'Brien, Michael Cera, William H. Macy. This is a stacked cast, and they all do great. The action was pretty fun. I do feel like with The Running Man, specifically in movie form, I haven't read the original Stephen King or Bachman novel, but both movies have their fair share of solid action, and I do feel Edgar Wright absolutely has some fun action in here. No stare. Speaking of which, Edgar Wright's directing in general and his screenplay alongside this dude, because I forgot, but I felt like the directing and screenplay was really good in terms of encapsulating the frantic energy that The Running Man should have, especially with a movie like this. It can be dystopian, but if it wants to be fun, it can definitely have it. And that's one of the issues that I found with the original one. It really could not find that balance between dystopian and fun action movie, although I still enjoy it. This one has a much better job, although it's not perfect, at balancing that out. So I do feel that is definitely one of the strengths of this movie. Plus also just getting you invested in this world and this guy's struggle to find a cure for his daughter. So Edgar Wright definitely did a great job there. Cinematography from this dude's great, usually compliment it. Comedy's sometimes solid, especially with Michael Cera's character, and again, Powell. I don't know, I guess Glenn Powell really did a lot to make this movie work, but I do have my issues. I do hate the fact that I'm saying that. Like, for all of its great stuff, plus being inventive, I do feel it's kind of a bit overstuffed. Like, I'm not saying the original Running Man's perfect by any means. I know that it's not completely faithful to the Stephen King novel where Ben Richards was instead a cop framed for murder. Here is more accurate in how Ben Richards is a guy struggling to find a cure for his family and has to basically participate on the Running Man. But it does feel like a combination of side quests that basically transition from one on another in a frantic pace. Flow is kind of awkward in a lot of places, especially when you get to the last 30 minutes where it's like introducing you to a new set of characters. But that segment of the movie really does not flow with the rest of the runtime. I feel most of my issues come with that, but throughout the rest of the movie, it felt like they were introducing characters after characters for the sake of new set piece and action, which I guess was fun, definitely fun. But once you get to the final segment, it kind of just hits you that, yeah, this really did not have an organic structure to it that really makes it a perfect movie. And it kind of makes the movie feel too long, even though the ending kind of feels a bit confused. I mean, the movie's 2 hours and 13 minutes, and I do feel like if the ending really stuck it, I probably would have been easier to say, yeah, this is an amazing movie. But no, the ending really did feel rushed. It felt like it lost its point. And then you remember the fact that it's trying to, like, close the book on a subplot from earlier. Because this movie feels like plot point after plot point after plot point instead of having a coherent structure. Luckily, Glenn Powell makes it feel cohesive, but it does feel like it's overstuffed in a lot of places. And the ending really did not end on the best of notes. Granted, the original Running Man with Arnold Schwarzenegger, it didn't really land on the best of notes either, but then again, that was an 80s movie. I guess it was okay for the time, but now it's kind of, yeah, okay, sure. And I'm left with that same feeling of, okay, sure. Luckily, the rest of the movie is able to compensate for it, but since the ending kind of was not as impactful as it thinks it is, it does bring a lot of the issues from beforehand back to the surface. I would not call this a bad movie by any means. Probably one of Edgar Wright's weakest films, and I do feel fans will probably feel the same way. Again, I'm not a guy who's seen his filmography a lot, but if this is one of his weakest films, that definitely proves that he is probably one of the most solid directors ever, and Glenn Powell definitely has proven his star power. So yeah, The Running Man was definitely good. I would easily say it's better than the original, but it's hard to say it's a perfect movie. But it does continue to show Edgar Wright's ingenuity and style in a pretty effective manner. But for The Running Man, I do feel it could have been a bit more, but hey, for what it is, it was still fun. Just wish it was better. The Real Authority would approve a 9 out of 10 because, yeah, the issues are hard to overlook, but it's still fun. I would definitely recommend it. So make sure you leave a like, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications, and comment your thoughts on the movie. And let me know what you prefer. Do you prefer the Arnie original or do you prefer Glenn Powell's? Alright, I'm gonna go. Peace.